All right. So this Windsor Spitfire was drafted 23rd overall in the 2021 entry draft, NHL entry draft. His past season, he was a huge part of our Windsor Spitfires for the team and was the league MVP and OHL's top scorer for 2022. Wyatt Johnston, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it, man. But hey, big year for you, obviously. I mean, probably kind of surreal given the lockdown. Then you come back for this type of a season.
Yeah, definitely. It was a tough few years just with COVID and everything that, pretty much everyone had to go through, but it was definitely pretty special to finally get back to Windsor and play a full season. And, I'm really happy with the way things went.
Yeah, I can imagine. But obviously for yourself, for the team, it wasn't just like you had a good year and the team was whatever. I mean, you had an amazing year and so did the whole squad, right? I mean, a deep run into the playoffs like that, challenging the top dog, and we'll talk all about that. But I mean, it's pretty special for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's definitely, a lot of fun to have, a lot of team success. And, we were one win away from going to the Memorial Cup. So definitely a lot to be proud of. And yeah, it was definitely a ton of fun, and really happy with, how the season went as a team.
Beautiful, man. And we'll talk more about it, of course, but I want to talk a little bit about yourself, of course. Kid from Toronto. What do you remember about first coming to Windsor?
It was just kind of a crazy experience, especially going into the league as a
Mhm.
16-year-old. And it was my first time really, being in Windsor. And overall, I love the city. And I've had a lot of fun. And I've really enjoyed my time in Windsor. And I think it's definitely helped me being in just kind of a city like that with, all the amazing people in Windsor. I think that's it really helped me a ton and really helped me adjust, especially as a 16-year-old.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, obviously, being a young kid is probably the hardest part of it all. Moving away from home. Did you know anybody here at all? I mean, I'm probably like familiar with some players or coaches and whatnot, but did you have any connections at all? Or
Yeah, a little bit. Like I knew a little bit. I knew like Cooley a little bit. And then I knew Luca Hano a bit because I worked out with him during the summers and trained with him a little bit years prior. So yeah, other than that, I don't really know a whole lot of guys before going into Windsor, but I kind of made friends a little bit with the 16-year-olds like James Woodway and Pasquale Zito, just kind of texting with them over the summer. And it was all a new experience for us, and we were going through the same thing. So I think we were able to kind of help each other.
yeah, and that's something that will probably come up as well because just given the lockdown and all that stuff. I mean, a new group, and then you didn't even get to have one full season under your belt really when the lockdowns began. And going back to that year, I guess it was that like that first season for you. Was it a big eye opener, big learning curve kind of year, or what was that first season like for you?
Yeah, 100%. It was definitely a huge eye opener with how good the level of hockey is in the Ontario Hockey League. And it's definitely a big step up from minor hockey, and it's all the top players in minor hockey just moving it on. And so it's definitely I think the biggest thing was just the speed and the
Yeah.
strength of all the players in the O. And that was definitely a big eye opener and learning experience for me.
Yeah, every jump you're going to see pretty much the same thing, right? Like every level, it's the same thing. It's hockey. That's what we've been doing for years, but it just gets bigger, badder, faster, whatever it may be, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Saw that firsthand in Windsor, and then I've already seen a little bit of that in Dallas with the training camp there last year.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll talk about that as well. But as you said, unfortunately, you didn't even get a full season under your belt. Then you come back for the season, as we kind of talked about as well, and a big difference. I mean, a big difference for the team, for yourself as well. Was that something that over the 2 year nearly break, were you kind of focused on improving as much as possible? Was there just something in the water? Like what really changed over that break, I guess?
Yeah, I mean it was pretty crazy. I think the biggest thing for me was being able to get in the gym and working out and just kind of putting myself in the best situation for whenever hockey did start again. And I know during the full missed year, there's definitely moments where I thought, I was getting ready for a training camp in a few weeks or in a month or so. So I think that definitely really helped me just being able to give that extra little bit of motivation. And I think the biggest thing was just being able to work out and skate for pretty much 18 months and just getting stronger, getting bigger, and getting, just refining my skills on the ice.
Yeah, luckily, you had that ability to still practice, right? Because I was gonna say it must have been tough to, find space, find time. Well, maybe not time because there's nothing else to do, right? But to find like a gym or a rink that you were actually allowed to play in must have been difficult at times. And again, when you're a kid, you're developing everything, so it was a pretty critical time for you, right?
Yeah, it was definitely a critical time, and yeah, it was definitely tough for me, especially just being in kind of the heart of Toronto, and that kind of ended up
Yeah.
being one of the tougher areas for with COVID restriction wise. So I definitely had to get a little bit creative and maybe travel a little bit further in order to get my training in, and maybe do some kind of extra things like buying gym equipment from my house to
Yeah.
put me in the best spot and give me every opportunity to get better.
Yeah, I still hate talking about that shit, but it's just like, it's a big part of your guys' kind of story this season. Talking to Matt and the other guys, it's like, you have 1 year, you don't have a playoff, and then it's taken away from you. So, it's kind of part of the story to make everything kind of come together.
Yeah, 100%. It was definitely some crazy times, and
Yeah.
definitely made it tough on a lot of athletes.
Yeah, no doubt. And well, whatever you did paid off, obviously, right? So, joining an elite class in your second year in junior, basically over 100 points. Did you feel confident right from the beginning of the season, or did it kind of come as it went?
I mean, I was definitely confident in the season, and I was really happy with the work I put in my improvements that I made throughout the missed season.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't really know what to kind of expect going into the year for me personally, just based off of losing a full year, and I just knew I wanted to come to Windsor and be a leader on the team, and just kind of do whatever I could to help the team win games, and be a leader both on and off the ice.
Yeah. Another weird part of it too is like, again, 2 years basically of no hockey, OHL hockey, new coaches, kind of a new team, right? So it was like hard to predict like how you guys were going to do. And I mean, I'm sure you felt a little bit of that as well, right?
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely ton of change with the team looking, probably half the players were different or maybe even more,
Right.
and two new coaches. Um, so yeah, I think it was just kind of crazy, and it was kind of hard to know what to expect going into the year, especially with
Yeah.
the amount of change and turnover based on that missed season.
Yeah, I really feel for the overagers or the graduating class of 2020 who didn't get anything, right? It's like basically
Yeah,
being in grade 12 and not getting a prom or something, right? So
yeah,
sucks.
yeah, yeah. Definitely not the way I think everyone would have wanted things to go for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. But to talk about this team a bit, like the squad itself, you were actually quoted earlier in the playoffs, I think, saying, this is like the closest group I've ever been a part of. So I'm sure you guys, are having a lot of fun off and on the ice, and certainly benefiting and contributing to your on ice ability as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a lot of fun to be winning games, and I think we were lucky enough to have a pretty successful season as a team. So I think that just kind of generated and brought us together, and I think the bigger things is just kind of how we were able to come together as a team. I think that really helped us a lot, especially in playoff times, because things definitely get tough throughout the playoffs, and there's definitely a lot of things that you kind of have to face and a lot of adversity you have to go against. So I think just having a really tight team really ultimately helped us a ton.
Yeah, maybe do some offshoot extracurricular stuff, kind of get your mind off it, and again, being away from everybody too for a while is probably just fun to get back together and do some shit, right?
Yeah, 100%. It was a blast, and I think everyone was just itching to that, just getting back. And
Yeah.
I know I was itching to just even the routine and just being with all my teammates every day for most of the day, and just kind of building those bonds.
Yeah, man. And again, big part of it. And obviously, whatever worked for you, it worked for the whole team as well. You guys all came together throughout that season. And don't think that there was ever like a bad moment in the season where you guys were doing rocky or anything like that, but it just got better and better. And of course, we get to the end running away with that 13-game win streak. What can you say about that?
Yeah, that was definitely really special, and we definitely were kind of aware of I guess past Windsor Spitfires teams, and how many games they were able to win. I think we were just kind of pushing towards that. And yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun. And I think that was just a really big confidence booster for us as a team, just being able to go on that, really long win streak, especially going into playoffs. I think that was definitely a huge confidence booster. And, definitely feels good being able to win a ton of games going into playoffs and make sure that everyone's feeling pretty confident and feeling pretty good.
Yeah, and also like you mentioned too, like not only that, like kind of serving the organization and the team or the city better yet, like you said, with the past records, kind of in a new era now, and it's like here we go all over again. It's kind of cool, obviously playing junior, no matter where you're playing, there's roots in every town, and there's history, and there's guys that have went on to do great things, and of course a lot of that here into to add a team to the list and a player to the list like yourself, it has to be probably pretty proud moment for you guys all.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, it definitely was definitely special, and especially a lot of fun. Just kind of building a buzz around town, and
Yeah.
I think that was definitely fun. I think you kind of saw as playoffs went on, just kind of the excitement in the WFCU Center every night.
Yeah, man, I was gonna bring that up too. I mean, having that crowd support and again just getting bigger and bigger, rowdier and rowdier had to have been just a big deal for you guys, right?
Yeah, 100%. It's definitely it's a lot of fun, and I find it a lot easier being able to play with a crowd on behind you, and yeah, especially in the playoffs. I think the crowd was so special for us, and
Yeah.
they definitely helped us win a lot of games. And it's definitely a lot of fun playing at home when the building's rocking and just
Yeah.
getting off the fans.
Yeah, and maybe well, for you, obviously a first playoff experience, right? So the first time being to experience that at that level and that height and that emotional height as well. Again, just everything kind of came together and it was perfect. But to go back to that streak, and it was good to hear that the fans were helping you guys. Good to know. But back to the streak. That kind of catapulted you guys right into playoffs, right? So right after that, playoffs begin, and it's like we're ready to rock.
Yeah, 100%. As I mentioned, just a confidence booster, and it's definitely a ton of fun coming to the rink when you're winning and you have that confidence. And I think it's definitely helped us kind of going into playoffs, just knowing that we can string together a lot of wins in a row. And I think everyone was feeling pretty confident with their abilities, and especially as a team as a whole.
Yeah, and obviously overall, as a team as a whole and yourself, I mean, probably a pretty good OHL playoff experience, a first experience, right? To go that far and to not only go that far, battle with every team, every team that was placed in front of you too. You're pretty much defeated, right? So collectively, what can you say about the team's playoff run on the ice? I mean, it seems like such a deep team, everyone's doing their part, and that was a huge part of it all.
Yeah, we were, there's definitely a ton of pretty special players in Windsor, and we were a deep team. And I think that's one of the more important things in playoffs, just being able to roll all four lines and get
Yeah.
contributions from anyone in the lineup. And I think that was definitely a huge contributor to our success and having different guys step up at different moments. And I think the biggest thing, just kind of playing as a team and everyone chipping in and doing their job.
Yeah, everyone being reliable, not no one was a liability or anything like that. You didn't have like, oh fuck, what's Rubo gonna do today or like anything like that, right? It's like
Yeah.
everyone knew where each other was, and didn't have to. It instills a confidence, right? It instills your confidence in your play and collectively.
Yeah, 100%. I think everyone kind of knew what we would be getting out of each player, and I think that was kind of shown every night. And in playoffs, you definitely need everyone to step up and everyone to take their game to the next level. And I think kind of as it showed, everyone was able to do that. Just getting to how close we were to winning.
Yeah, man. Well, it was a special run. It was a special ride, and it was cool to be part of it all. And I mean, we'll kind of go to like the final championship series, right? Because like I said, everyone was a battle, even with Sarnia and Kitchener at times, until you guys found the groove and just got them out of the way. But Flint was a battle. Then we get to the championship series, and you guys win game one, tight game, overtime goal by obviously a former Hamilton Bulldog as well. Do you guys go back into the dressing room? I'm sure. I mean, you guys were probably on fire at that time, but was it like we knew it, we knew we can do this, or was it like holy shit, here we go?
Yeah, I mean, like we were all pretty confident. It was definitely, we had no clue really what to expect going in the series based on
Mhm.
not playing them for the whole year and just kind of not really knowing anything about how they play and what they do. And obviously, you can kind of pre-scout that in video, but playing's a different thing. And yeah, I think that was a big confidence booster, just kind of knowing that we can beat them and
Yeah.
just getting the lead in the series was definitely big for us and just great for the confidence.
Yeah, well, that was a big game changer, you can say, right? Like everyone, like you said, they didn't know what to expect. You guys never faced off, but Hamilton's undefeated and they lose game one. It was a huge turnaround, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously not the result that we wanted, but hey, man, regardless, you guys were impressive and proved that you guys, deserve to be there, belong to be there. And that has to be a huge win in everyone's column.
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely pretty heartbreaking and, obviously not the way we wanted to end the season, but I think that I don't think that really takes away from, what we were able to accomplish as a team. And it was definitely a really, really special year. And
Yeah.
I think talent if someone would have told me that I would be, going to game 7 of the finals in the OHL championship, I think, I definitely take that, opportunity. And obviously it didn't work out, like kind of the way that I wanted and I think the whole team wanted, but definitely really, really special.
Yeah, and you're up for the challenge, right? You're not going to back down from that. And I mean, look, just a hair away from doing it too. So,
Yeah.
it, like I said, it just kind of proves that you guys were pretty much the top dog, right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. We were able to kind of come out of the Western Conference and like that was definitely a huge accomplishment, especially with, only playing the Western Conference teams. So we kind of, I guess, won that half of the league and against all the teams we played kind of 8
Mhm.
or 9 times this year. So yeah, it was definitely really, really cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it definitely sets up a good, next year as well, depending on who could stick around. But you also mentioned kind of getting some experience at the next level and going to the Dallas Stars camp last year. Already did the one this year already pass? I thought you were going this year as well.
Yeah, I was at like development camp last week in Dallas, so it's great to get down there and just kind of be in Dallas and be around all the other people within the organization and the other prospects, and then also there'll be training camp coming in the fall.
Yeah, yeah. So it's great to attend those things. I'm sure it's a great experience as well. And no matter where you end up next year, man, I mean, you're going to be in a good spot no matter what, right? So, really appreciate you taking the time to join me, man.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.